Good afternoon, evening, morning, I don't care. How are you? Welcome to episode number
Episode six.
And yeah, we're back at it again with another few topics.
And as you can tell, we're as motivated as ever.
I think we both had a pretty rough weekend. I've had a very reasonably long day and I'm pretty tired, but committed, man.
We're here, we're still recording. We're back on a Monday.
Back on Mondays, every Monday. And published Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on
Thursdays
schedules.
Thursdays for the audio.
Alright, okay, cool.
And Dan's about 4 weeks behind in terms
but
of...
we're going to start doing the consistency videos. We also saw that you can actually add videos to Spotify during podcasts. So
yeah.
That could be an interesting feature that we'll look into.
I did look into it. We have to change our podcast feed.
Right.
And we're paying for the one we're on already.
Fuck. Okay.
So maybe we'll look into that later. Hi guys, this is an edit from Future Josh and Future Dan. We've got a request of you.
We just want to highlight something that we believe is important for the podcast. We need a theme tune and we need someone to make this for us because I've tried Fruit Loops and it sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, I'm just not good at it.
The cereal?
It's an editing platform that
right.
you can make music off of. So we are saying to our audience that if you get a song and
or just a catchy riff or something like that. Just a jingle.
Jangle, whatever. You make something that sounds good and it's good for the podcast. We will buy you a mystery box. We're not buying a mystery box, but we'll buy you something mysterious.
We'll buy a few things, collate it, and create a mystery box for you.
Yeah, and we'll send it your way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy the episode.
All right, cheers.
This week, we're going to talk a bit about the World Cup for some reason.
No, I think it's just...
It's interesting because it's affecting Dubai quite a lot.
Well, let's mention it, right?
Yeah.
So, I thought Dubai would be a lot busier. Did you?
It does seem quite quiet.
Obviously, they're all in
yeah.
Qatar. I don't know, there's...
But this is quite a big hub for it, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, everyone's watching it. There's lots of events, open places, and weather's all right, so you can sit outside. But I reckon the influx will come after the World Cup.
Okay, why?
Because they'll be looking to absolutely party their ass off for the last few days.
Oh, I see, okay.
If the ones with the money, anyway.
But you went to one of the fan zones this weekend, right?
I went to the square, Sports City.
How busy was it?
It was pretty busy, yeah. Almost, in fact, every table was taken.
There you go. So, okay, so it's quite busy here.
Yeah.
I hear there's a fan zone in, is it Media City?
Media City, yeah.
That is apparently rammed.
It looks
all the
good.
time, yeah.
I was in one of the commercial towers that overlooks it, and the screen's huge. I could watch it from there. It was great.
Oh, that's quite cool.
It was.
I left the marina at like 6-7 o'clock last week, and echoing through the entire marina was Enrique Iglesias' Hero.
Yeah, I expected some events, but I feel like Dubai and its traffic, I thought that would be quite affected by.
It's not
but
at
it's
all,
not.
right?
It's
Actually, traffic's pretty good at the minute.
Have you got a team this year that you're supporting?
Well, England, I suppose, but I'm not really a big football fan, so you're going to be leading this part of the conversation because I don't really have much to say on it.
Well, I did a lucky dip at work and I got Iran.
Right, so that's why you've written Iran down.
Yeah, I wrote Iran down.
How are they doing?
Well, they're incredibly... It's a very political game for these guys. They don't know how they should be. I think at the start of all of this Qatar World Cup, all the teams were thinking, how can we make a statement? Because, there was all these sort of gay rights, women's rights, all this sort of thing. Take off your armband because it has rainbows on it.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, I think... I don't know why it's all coming up now. But it's definitely one of the most media crazed World Cups that's ever happened. In terms of what's happening around. From what I've seen anyway, it's all on the media.
Yeah,
it's all on the Western medias, just because of the way they are.
Stance on LGBT.
I mean, you can't. You can expect that from the West to come and make the comments and all this bullshit. So, and since the start of the, when Qatar was chosen at the start,
it's been controversial.
We've had a long time to, make these comments. Come the time, it's like, fucking, there you go. But Iran themselves, they've obviously got a lot of political shit going on in their country. And I saw the players, at first they didn't sing the national anthem.
Really?
Some of the players are still in the country, have been arrested.
Oh, that's quite cool actually, I rate that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mate, the guy...
Taking a stance on it is fucking bullshit, man.
It is very bullshit, man. Like, they're killing kids and stuff. Like,
fucking hell. I love it when we get political on our podcast.
But, yeah, I think that I cannot speak for the Iranian people, but it sounds like they don't know if the players are doing enough or not. Like, it's... like.
But at the end of the day, right, they are just football players. It's not their fucking job to do something. Do you know what I mean?
Well... they represent the country, and they find it hard to represent the country because they don't want to represent the government. They want to represent the people.
Yeah.
So how do they do that? They make statements, then they go home and they get arrested and all this. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
So you got them in your lucky dip.
So I got them in the
How
lucky
are they
dip.
doing
And
in the matches?
They just won a game actually.
Nice.
I can't remember who they were playing against now, but it's like 2-1.
But you're still in.
Yeah, they're still in. I think they've got one more to go. If they win it, then I think they'll get through.
Does Scotland have a team?
Not this year.
No,
They didn't get in this year, no.
Oh fuck! So who are you supporting?
Well, I support Iran. I support because they're lucky dip coming. I've got Argentina lucky dip back in the UK.
Didn't they lose immediately?
They lost.
Didn't they lose to KSA?
Saudi or something.
Yeah, they lost to KSA.
But, yeah, they came back, and I kind of like watching Poland.
Why?
Because my dad's side's from Poland.
Oh, alright, that's quite cool. I didn't know that about
I always support them a little bit, and I feel like they almost put Saudi in their place. Like, they were doing very well, Saudi, right? I mean, they've won a good few games, and I was like, right, come on, they're not that good. Like, someone do something about it.
Don't you think there's a bit of money in it?
Well, they played really, really well. I watched the Poland-Saudi game, and although Saudi lost 2-0, they put up a hell of a fight, man.
Well, if they can beat Argentina with Messi playing, then come on, they've got to be all right.
Well, that's the thing. It's like their styles.
I don't know anything about football, but I know Messi's up there.
They play really well, surprising. They're a bit messy, but they've got so much pressure. They've got a lot of pressure on the other teams, so I think they've done really well so far.
That's interesting.
Anyway, we won't talk about football anymore.
Thanks, because I've got nothing to say on it. I've got a question for you, not related to anything that we normally talk about. The indie ref just got shut down by law, right?
The indie ref?
Yeah.
What's this?
Scottish independence referendum.
Oh, right, the independence referendum got shut down by who?
I think it's now law that you guys can't call for another referendum to be independent. I only read the headline, something like that, but it got completely shut down.
Well, that's fucking ridiculous.
Your woman, is it Nicola Sturgeon?
Yeah.
Or is that German?
Nicola
Sturgeon, yeah, she's livid about it. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's terrible.
You want the independence?
And I'm not saying like I want it or not want it. I mean, when it happened, I did vote for independence at the time.
But that was what, only 8 years ago, right?
I can't remember.
2014, I think.
But like, you can't take that away from a country.
No, but then what? Are you going to have a vote on it every year until you get independence?
I think
you've had a vote. That's it. Move on, right?
Listen, every year it gets worse and worse in the UK, meaning it gets harder and harder for Scotland to make a good break from England.
But you can argue it gets harder and harder every year in Scotland as well.
No, that's what I'm saying. So if it's going to be a hard journey, what better time is now, essentially? But I think, they could build it up. I think they need some proper plans. Like, I haven't read enough about it, to be honest, but I think it's terrible to take that away. I'm going to be looking up the news tonight, thanks to you.
So you voted for independence? That's quite interesting.
Time, yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, fair enough. Were you old enough to vote?
Yeah.
I swear it was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, I would still be old enough to vote.
How old are you now?
I'm 26.
What's the voting age? 16?
16?
Yeah, 10 years. Fucking. You 26?
Yeah.
Christ, you're 2 years older than me. Didn't know that.
Alright.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
What did you vote? Did you vote?
What, in Scottish independence?
Yeah.
We didn't get a vote.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't. It was just a Scottish vote.
What was it?
If you guys wanted independence or not.
I can't remember, mate. It's been so long. That's
What about
bullshit.
Brexit? What did you vote?
I voted stay.
Yeah, remain. Interesting. You want to stay in the EU but leave the UK?
Yes.
Why?
I love Europe. It's got its flaws.
But you don't love the UK?
It's got
Come
its
on.
flaws. It's got its flaws like everywhere else, but I love being European.
Fair enough.
I don't want to be American. Oh fuck, we'll cut that out because I don't want to. Yeah.
We won't go there.
That's
yeah, all
what
right.
they.
We won't cut it out.
right.
But we'll move swiftly on.
I love being European,
All right. Why?
but because I don't know, I just love it. I don't know. It's
What do you love about
all
it?
my family's from Europe.
Right, okay,
My mum's
Polish,
side of
yeah,
the
yeah.
family's from Italy. My
Oh,
dad's
that's cool.
side's from Poland. Scotland was and used to be in the European parts of things. Now it's still classed as Europe as a continent.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Um,
Go on. Well,
but anyway, I think the UK is going in a way that is it's
It'll be
starting
hard to
look,
recover.
starting to look like America.
What do you think about Matt Hancock in the jungle?
I think that's good fun. But I
Yeah.
haven't watched any of it.
No, I haven't watched any of
No.
it. But just the principle of him going in less than a year
I think it
after
takes
he
balls,
was breaking.
mate.
It does take. That's a good point. Yeah,
Like,
there's definitely some balls.
I saw
involved,
one
yeah.
video of a guy just sort of making a dig at him, saying like he was shocking or something. Or he's talking about his bird. He was like,
What his age
When-
that he cheated with?
yeah.
Right, okay.
So he mentioned something about that, and then someone put a blimp up over the.
Yeah, I saw that one of the aeroplane tail.
What
things.
did it say? Can you remember?
Something like "You're a disgrace, Matt Hancock," something like that.
Mate, there's so many fucking.
I love that's
What,
so.
what
good
do you think about the new Prime Minister? The first.
Rishi Sunak, yeah,
Yeah.
the first British Indian Prime
Do
Minister.
you think he's like the Will from In Betweeners?
What, a briefcase wanker.
Yeah.
Next to these inconsiderate arseholes.
You know,
I don't know, that's a
I've
good
got
question.
I've got some really political friends, and I said to them, "What do you think?" And they just said, "It's just another rich Tory."
He is, but
He is.
Yeah, he is. He is, but he was Chancellor, right? So he's got the economy forefront in the mind. He should have been Prime Minister over Liz Truss. That's where the UK's fucked up a bit. We've lost however long she was in power for, 45 days.
We've lost
whatever it is.
all credibility, mate.
Yeah, it's because we've now got this mentality. In
How
our
long
head.
have the Tories been in power for?
10 years or so, coming up
I
to
think it's 12 plus.
12 plus maybe. Yeah, when did 2008, right? 2000 or was 2008 Gordon Brown? 2008, 2009, I think Cameron took over.
Anyway, this is very political.
This is very political.
Let's come back to Dubai. We've just taken,
Okay, yeah.
We've taken a
What?
first class to Emirates all the way over to Dubai. Who paid for it?
Not us.
One of the Tories.
Who did you vote for? SNP?
I haven't voted in a while now.
No, I know, but who did you vote for when you're back home?
I can't remember, man. Honestly.
All right, bringing it back to Dubai.
Right. So since the World Cup, since COVID, since the war in Ukraine,
Yeah. I think especially since the war in Ukraine, if you're going around
we
the
have
world.
had an influx
Nice
of
word.
influx.
Yeah, I like it,
Yeah, nice. English language
yeah.
of Russians.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now,
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Before it was mainstream, I used to do the Russian dance when I was drunk all the time.
Oh, can we put that on YouTube?
No,
Oh, God, that'll increase the views.
it might. Okay, we'll do one video at the end, and
We'll
it
put a
in.
link in our Spotify
No, we won't.
description. We will. Onto it. I've got the video, it's fine. He doesn't, so I'll upload it.
Anyway, I don't do it anymore.
Do you not?
No.
Because it's a bit, because you
I feel it
worried
might be
about
a-
who's going to see.
I don't know if it's controversial or not anymore. I don't want to draw myself too much attention.
Yeah, there was a phase of about 3 months where we would
mate,
go out
Fucking like year and a half.
and you would just get to this state and we'd know it would just, like, something
It's
would
a
just
level
click.
of confidence. Like I had to do it every single time I
Something would
went
just,
out.
I've got a great video of you in this dance off with this guy for some reason. This guy's busting some shapes like that, and you're busting some
I
shapes
couldn't
like
even
that.
do it. I remember this.
And then all of a sudden, you just sort of step back from him, and he's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then you do like the reverse crab like that, and then you start sticking your legs out, and you can't do it.
Fucking reverse.
You did. You sort of go back into the reverse crab like that. That's the video that we'll link in the description of the audio. We'll put it online.
Fuck
no
you,
shame,
that's
mate.
not going anywhere in the public domain. Anyway, so we've met a lot of Russians. I've tried to do business with a lot of Russians, but I've come across some problems.
Oh, I tell you what.
I want you to say what have you experienced from
No,
Russia?
that's quite an interesting fact because I did leasing in the marina, which is obviously high turnover. It's where everybody comes to start their trip in Dubai. The past 6 months, easily, I would say, and this is probably genuine, 80% of all inquiries have been Russian, whether that's a phone call or a WhatsApp lead. I'm not very good with area codes, like country codes, right? So we're +971,
They're
the
plus
UK
seven
is +44.
something,
Russia is +7, and I memorise it because my phone 3 times a day I get a +7 new inquiry. It's ridiculous. But you said that you've run into some problems with them. I don't think I've closed a deal with the Russians.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I think they're really shopping around the market at the minute, seeing what they can do.
I don't think I don't know what it is, but when they come to Dubai, they are asking every single agent there is. And I find that very hard to work with sometimes because I'm like, right, I want to give you my time, but I know that you're literally talking to 100 people right now. And
so if you can't get a commitment now, then you can't waste time.
I treat business like a relationship when I get a lead, right? And there is a certain level of loyalty. If we have not addressed something and said it for what it is, you know, like, do you want to be my girlfriend? If once we are in a relationship, you know, and you go and cheat on me, that's different. But if I tell you that you've got a hall pass, then you go and use it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, all I'm saying is, like, they do come here, they do ask a lot of people, and when they do send an inquiry, it's always a WhatsApp inquiry.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
100%.
I do business on the phone a lot of the time, but when you need to tell someone and educate them about what it's like in Dubai,
it's hard to
like
do
5
that
times a
over
day.
WhatsApp,
Over WhatsApp takes a lot of time.
Yeah, you just copy and paste a message, I assume, at this point. You triggered something in me then. I was showing a Russian person around one of our renovated apartments the other day, and he was like, oh, this is a fully renovated apartment, and they're quite nice. Building not so much, but the apartment lovely. And he was just walking around going, this is shit. This is shit. This is terrible. This is cheap. It's loud. It's awful. I went, show me what you were living in Russia. And he goes, right, okay, so we did the conversion. It was about 250 dirhams. Did the conversion into Russia. And then he said, I'm paying half of this, and showed me his apartment. I think it's because the quality of living that they have in Russia is tenfold what it is in Dubai. Because it's an established market.
Well, it depends where you are, right?
It depends where you are, but the people that are coming here...
Would you say he was like a moderately...
he owns a yacht company or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So the only people I've been dealing with are quite affluent Russians. But yeah, I think they've got such a high...
Affluent, that's a nice word.
Thank you. Yeah, we're on fire. I think they've got such high standards from coming from certain areas in Russia that you compare it to here and where it's all new quality. The marina as well is such varying quality, and I think that's why they're struggling, because they're like, okay, Dubai is this place, you know, there's the Palm and there's all these mega mansions, but then the level down from the mega mansions, actually the quality's not great. Do you know what I mean? Some of the buildings are quite old and decrepit. I think that's a real struggle for them.
I think even coming to Dubai myself, we're trying to say positive things now, and we're going into the...
No, I think this is fine, because we're acknowledging that there is fucking nice stuff.
Definitely, the new buildings are amazing.
Oh yeah.
And if you get one, it depends where the money is. Like, that's the thing. If people have spent money for the long term, because you've got to remember, there's a lot of in Marina. Like you said a few weeks ago, Emaar ran out of money, right?
Yeah.
So then you got independent people or companies or whatever who have a lot of money and said, I want a tower there, I want a tower there.
Yeah.
And you know what? When it comes to it, construction's a lot more expensive than you think.
100%.
And when you build a building and there's all these delays and all this, and you just need to keep pushing money into the project to finish it, like, you'll cut corners when you can, and it tends to be with the finesse.
The biggest issue I have with the marina, I'm not sure if you realise it, but when you go into certain towers, I'd say probably about 50% of the towers, you go in the lift and there'll be a notice board in every lift. with the outstanding service charge each apartment owns.
Yeah.
Some of them are in like 500,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous.
He's-
And it is, you know, you run a building, you've got a certain expectation to keep it to a certain level of standard, but that's what the service charge is.
That's the thing.
And if the landlords don't pay the service charge, who's paying people to maintain the building?
The owner of that building, whoever it is, who is, you know, spending the money on elevator maintenance,
Yeah,
security,
exactly. Of course it's gonna
landscaping, whatever, they've got bills to pay.
Yeah.
And if the independent landlords in that building are not paying, then that's a problem.
Exactly, and that's why the quality is
I've
going.
seen that, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's-
every
it's
building
great.
there's a list of something.
I think so, yeah. I think
What's
so.
with the bites?
I've been bitten, yeah.
Stop
I went
fucking
Irish
scratching
Village
it, you're
on
making
Saturday.
me
I can't,
anxious.
mate. It's really fucking itchy.
I walk in the door, you tell me you got a sinus infection, you're scratching your skin, you got spots everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing in
What's the
this?
spot one? Chicken pox. What's the other one for chicken pox? Measles or something.
Sorry.
Sorry.
How do you feel about that? Right, okay, so I've dealt with a lot of Russians, and I think they're all starting companies, they're all opening salons, like they're doing very well. What I want to ask is, and what I've experienced actually with some of the developers I'm talking to who are part of developers, organisations who have a lot of retail, be it malls or retail in the streets, communities. And I met one guy, and I've been working with him for about 2 years now. And I brought him a Russian client, said, look at this concept, fantastic. It was amazing. And he goes, there's a problem though.
Go on.
And I'm like, what? And he goes, I've leased to so many Russians. What happens when everything is okay again?
What, and they all flee?
And they all want
Back to Russia.
Yeah, like, is that going to happen? What happens in like 2 years, right, or a year and a half when this is all over? Those who have established themselves may keep their unit here, but will they expand? Will they put as much effort into it, marketing, blah, blah, blah?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're like, right, the fund's over, I'm going back. Do you know what I'm saying? To rebuild while there's a market again in Russia. So he was telling me that question. Is like,
is it a bubble economy?
Yeah. So he was. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. What is it? A bubble economy? We'll see. I guess.
Yeah.
Because
I suppose
there are a lot of brands that have come over from all these other countries.
Yeah, of course,
because of economic situations. So
what happens when they do have
Dubai
the ability
is
to get back?
booming right now. It's like once in a lifetime that we're experiencing. What happens when things stabilise everywhere else? Will it stabilise everywhere else?
No,
that's a big question.
That is a big question, and we're not educated.
Dubai's got to use the money that they're making
to set up the safety net they need in case.
And what do they need? Like when you go, this is getting political again, but if you get to like COP27, for example, like the sustainability part of the world, everyone should be focused on this because we are going to be fucked in 20 years. We are all going to be fucked. And the established companies with all the money are going to end up paying the places who are worst affected. Pakistan, for example, who had all these floods.
Yeah,
and there's places where they're like, I want compensation because you guys have the means and we didn't as much. So yous aren't really taking this seriously, and we're suffering as a result. What are you going to do about it?
Good point.
So I think people are, the countries are forking out a bit more money on behalf of that. Perhaps not enough, but at the end of the day, Dubai's got to grow to a certain level that's level with the rest of the world. So what are they going to do in terms of sustainability? Because I'm not seeing it. Like electric motors is one thing, solar panels is another thing.
I think that is quite a big push, but again, it seems like, and I think this isn't just for Dubai, I think this is most countries, it seems to be just, what can we announce that's going to get the best headlines? But we don't see it day to day, and we didn't in the UK either, I don't think, right?
Well, listen, they had a lot more ways and means of recycling plants.
No, but the best example is in Dubai, there is an area.
Paperless, like, bro, have you ever been on a construction site and you walk into one of these offices? You'll see what I mean. Everything needs to be printed.
Yeah.
We're
way away from that. But for example, in Dubai there's Sustainability City, right, or Sustainable City, whatever it's called. right?
Do you know anyone who lives there?
Yeah. Someone from our company used to live there. I've been there. Great idea. Sustainable city. Yeah, it's fantastic. It is built the same way as every other community.
I don't imagine it
it's
being any
just
different.
called sustainable city or sustainability city, whatever it
But
is.
sustainable can also mean convenient in a sense. Like,
But the whole point is that it was advertised as
economic.
Economic, yeah, exactly. And there's towers popping up. There's a new one in JVC popping up that is supposed to be self-sufficient, and every balcony is going to have a garden on it, all that sort of stuff. I guarantee you when that's complete, there will be no gardens.
I think JVC is doing some benefits in terms of, the fact that it's very hard to get there and get inside it and get out. And what I mean by that is that JVC is a circle, yeah?
Yeah, Jumeirah Village Circle.
Yeah. So if that has everything anyone needs inside that circle, that's where I see the most value in JVC, to be honest.
But you could argue it does now. The only thing it doesn't have in the middle are offices.
Corporate buildings, yeah. I've noticed that, and I think it's a great place if it was sustainable. It can be a lot more.
It could be a self-sufficient city like this. What's the thing?
It could genuinely be this micro city. I think in terms of the cities in Dubai, right? In terms of micro cities, this is probably one of the more sustainable ones. In terms of, like, I don't need to go anywhere else but JVC. You still got to drive everywhere.
Do you reckon?
It's
downtown self-sufficient, Business Bay self-sufficient, Marina self-sufficient.
Yeah, true.
Arabian Ranch is self-sufficient. The Villa self-sufficient.
What I mean, like, right, you can live in downtown, yeah. But there's a lot of really, really tall buildings.
Yeah.
And maybe you're right, yeah. Well, I just think it's on track for lower rise buildings. I think you've kind of nailed it there, yeah.
I think there are loads.
And then I can't forget about Dera, but when I'm talking about micro cities, right, like JVC, like name another city, yeah.
Downtown.
That's not a city. Media City.
What do you mean it's not a city?
Like one of the ones that ends with cities.
Media City.
You get where I'm coming from.
Media City isn't residential though, is it?
Anyway, I think it's all right in terms of, like, I think they're selling it well because of.
Yeah, no, JVC is great. It's got everything you need there. It's very competitively priced.
It's affordable.
Actually, the infrastructure of it in terms of roads and public transport, it's fucked.
Yeah,
it's the most. Even driving around it at the middle of the night is ridiculous.
It's like
it's not been properly
what
painted.
Are the roads, man? What are the roads? There's places where there's a junction, yeah. People are coming from this way and people are coming from this way. But there's a stop sign on both sides.
It's ridiculous.
So everyone's like that, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
When you come up to a junction, the road, like the actual road material, it changes from tarmac to like cobbled street. Have you noticed?
Sometimes, yeah.
I don't know.
It's like they thought, we'll put the pavement there. Nah, chop the top off.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the same with you. But maybe the brakes on my car are fucked. But if I'm going quite quickly and I can't see there's a junction, if I stop on the tarmac, I'm fine. If I start stopping on the tarmac and then go onto this cobbled street, my fucking brakes lock up and I end up halfway in the junction. It's ludicrous.
Mate, you're just driving too fast.
It's absolutely ridiculous. JVC's a
JVC definitely lacks finesse.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
They've got no public transport. I mean, there's
none at all. It's on its way.
There are bus stops.
But that's ludicrous. So
I think the biggest problem with Dubai is its transport. Yeah, because I don't want to drive everywhere. I'm getting annoyed with traffic these days.
Traffic is definitely better this year than last, I would say. I'm driving.
I think it's been a bit better.
I'm driving to the marina every morning now. Totally fine.
We're done talking about the Russians, I guess.
Yeah, we sort of breathed over that quite quickly, didn't we?
Moved on to transport.
Russians everywhere.
You know, I'm not local, but if I was local, when I meet a local person, they always go, "Everyone's welcome," which is really cool to hear. Go on, sorry.
Backtracking a little bit, you were saying your landlord that you've been dealing with for 2 years, and he was like, "What happens when the Russians leave?" That's interesting because out here, I don't know if the viewers at home know, we have checks as security, right? it's quite an archaic system, but so most landlords historically have asked for rents up front in one-time payments, and that's sort of on its way out. But in as a trade-in for that, what they expect is a certain amount of checks. I think for commercial, it's normally four checks for the year, each dated at 3-month intervals.
There's ways and means of getting around this. If you're from Russia or anywhere else in the world and you do not have a residency in the United Arab Emirates, what you can do, if you're renting an apartment or a retail unit, what you can do is pay the first check, the first payment via transfer.
Or cash, yeah.
And hopefully you have someone in the UAE that you can then
checks
sign as a power of attorney. Now, when you sign them as a power of attorney, they write the checks, they hand them in, and what you can do once you get here, now you've got your apartment, now you've got your retail unit, you set up your business account or your personal account, and then you get your residency within, say, a month and a half.
Depends on what you're doing, yeah.
So if you're paying 4 checks, then by the time that second one's almost due, you will already have your bank account and everything set up.
You can exchange the checks,
and you can just
start doing transfers. Yeah, exactly. But the point is, that's very good security for people that stay in Dubai. Like if I was to move apartments, the landlord will bounce the check, open a police case against me. I'm still entitled to pay my outstanding rent. But if you went back to Russia, for example, or if I went back to the UK, the landlord can't do anything. The landlord can't do anything.
But if you
he'll put a travel ban against me. So the second I land back in Dubai, I'll be arrested. But there's no extradition laws or anything. There's nothing. So if all these landlords go back to the UK, regardless of how many checks are still due to be paid, all that can happen is you can open a case if they come back to Dubai. So whilst it is a level of security, it's not in the sense that this Russian bubble that may burst and everyone might go back to Russia when it blows over. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Russian
I'm not saying that's what the landlords are worried about. I think the landlords are worried, right, okay, then their contract ends and they don't need to continue and they just up and leave. And then we've got all these empty spaces that we need to fill again. Like, it means like that if the market's going like this and then the Russian influence drops, so does the market because they're leaving. Okay. Right? So that could be the same with food and beverage or just general economy, right? But with the retail units, if it goes down and then it goes down again, like because like they've left said retail units.
That's interesting because Dubai.
But people aren't really thinking about that, and I knew this like months and months ago, and I was like, you know what, you're right actually. Like you've got to be aware of when something's coming in too much. Careful how much you take. Don't just grab it all at once.
Yeah, good point. Don't keep your eggs all in one basket is the metaphor, right? But Dubai is classically, for the residential side, I don't know about the commercial, Dubai is a circular marketplace, right? Roughly about every 5 years, there's a peak and then there's a trough. So there was 2008, then it was, I think, 2015, 15. Then there was COVID, and now we're back on the up, right?
True.
But with residential, there's a shed ton of regulations and laws coming into place to make it a more stable, a more secure, a more... there's a word I'm looking for, but I've lost it. But anyway, a more stable market, right? So off-plan launches, for example, there's now a restriction on the amount that can be released at one time, meaning it won't have such an impact on the secondary market, meaning it'll be more of a stable...
Right, because if more people are buying off-plan at once, then that's the future of Dubai, right? So then they're like, right, if all this is being bought and it's not leased yet, we can raise the prices here because that'll obviously justify almost the prices of what these people have bought it for because they want the return on investment, right? If you spend 2,000 per square foot on a unit that's 1,000 square feet, right? So that's fucking 2 million, right? Where am I going with this?
I don't know.
Then to get your 10%, you need to rent it out at 200k, right? Now you're not going to get 10%. Say that.
Yeah, everybody wants the 10% ROI.
Realistically, it could be 8% or 7%. But if you bought that off plan, mate, the prices are going to be like 3,000. So, and you can see this in Sopa, right? By the way, what's that place called? I think it's the developer Soba.
Yeah, it's in Heartland.
Near Nad Al Sheba. Right, okay, it's near Nad Al Sheba, near enough Dubai Creek.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right, so they've got retail units down there selling for like 2,300 or something per square foot. And then you look at the rent, and there's only one listed, and I saw it, and I was like, no one's going to pay that. Like, seriously. But that's someone who's bought the unit and thought, right,
They've just done their basic maths.
I want my percentage. I want my percentage. And I'm like, mate, you're not going to make that for another 5 years. And someone asked me, one of another agent, do you sell property down here? Because my client's talking about it. And I said, tell him not to go. I didn't want to diss that project right now. It's just not ready yet in terms of to bring my clients there. It's not ready. Like, if you want to go and buy somewhere over there, then do it. Like, be my guest. But don't come back to me with a ridiculous rent offer.
Yeah, I lost track there.
You were talking about off planning. Right, so
the real estate market is going to become more stabilised.
That was my comparison. You buy a secondary market, right, and then you'll get a lower price because that's its real price. If you buy off plan, you're somewhat, in my opinion, you're somewhat gambling. Like
100%. Yeah, 100%.
But that expectation, when you buy it, you are obviously being pitched that you can rent it out at this price.
Yeah, and that's what's skewing the market.
Yeah.
When Dubai focuses less on off plan, you're then encouraged to buy ready buildings, which is what needs to happen. Because because off plan is quite cheap, right? That's the whole point of it, is that you buy it now and you'll pay less than when it's ready.
It's good for cash flow or whatever, and you pay less.
You've got payment plans and all that sort of stuff. So if you can pay 10% on an off-plan property, or you can pay 2 million for a property that's a bit old, none of the landlords are paying their service charge, the building's just getting older and more decrepit, what are you going to do? You're going to take the off-plan route. If there's less available in the off-plan market, and you need to make an investment, of course you're going to buy these secondary buildings, which will then generate the cash flow, which will then reinvigorate the secondary market. Service charges should then get paid because these are new buyers that are buying the properties. And then that should increase that market. And that's where Dubai is lacking, is everybody in Dubai is onto the newest, the shiniest thing. That the older buildings are getting left behind. And that's why the market's not stable. Whereas in the UK...
That's the new investors. I'm a little bit concerned about the people who obviously have bought off plan in the past and they're still buying off plan now, or perhaps they're just buying more properties, then they buy off plan and they're like the mentality I had there, where that's the future, I can increase my prices. They've got 20 apartments behind them that are all secondary now, obviously. They're being leased. It's like, there you go, there's an increase. Do you know what I'm saying?
Kind of. So he will increase
not
his
based off like, I want to make more money now because I've just spent lots.
No, but he's increasing the rents to cover the costs of what he's done. It's basic
has obviously believed in the future of Dubai, so he is raising that rate. So really how many off-plan buyers are buying and then raising the rents on their other properties that they've got running right now?
I didn't even think of that. Yeah. That's really interesting.
We're going a lot into the market now. We're actually talking about constructive
This has actually become a real estate podcast. What's going on?
Crazy, man.
Right, come on then, let's get more light.
Last week, I think we were finalising and we said that we were going to talk about the opportunity for big commissions. Were we talking about that last week?
I can't remember now. We definitely spoke about this briefly at one point, said we'd follow up on it, and then forgot. Yeah. The thing is, as you know from the audios, I don't listen to them that much whilst I'm editing.
Oh, when I'm editing, I'm all the way through.
Yeah, see, I sort of phase in and out of concentration.
You've got to watch that, because I'm saying things that are embarrassing. You know what I'm going to do on episode 4, because I'm just about finished this.
Yeah.
See at the end when you go, feed the pony.
Okay, well, this is all
I'm going to zoom right in that. I'm going to be like, that's what he said. Like,
yeah, that's funny though. In between us.
Yeah,
it's
but
a great reference.
well,
let's cut it out of this bit.
Listen, man, I need you to start cutting a bit more. Like, think about like what makes me
Well, I'm going to have a go at episode 5 video, so hopefully that will...
I don't want to talk, like, if I mention something about my girlfriend or something...
Oh, that all goes. Yeah, all personal
Oh, it didn't
stuff
go,
goes.
man. Listen to 4 again.
Which bit? The press up bit?
The bit when I was like, oh, she's making my dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah, that was stayed because it's funny.
And then, no, that's fine, but when it came to the bit where I told you about the story how I fractured a rib...
No, that's gone.
Oh, right, is it?
That's 100% gone. Yeah.
Because you
specifically asked to cut that bit out. Yeah, I got rid of that. Yeah, serious shit I'd get rid of. When it's stuff like Germans pissing on each other, that can stay.
I don't think they do this, yeah. I don't, but I just thought it was like a stereotype.
It doesn't matter, no one listens to us in Germany. Brussels is where they listen to us. I've noticed that we do have one Brussels follower that is listening to every single one of our episodes, including the one where you say they piss on each other.
I hope you enjoyed that, Jim.
I was really hoping he was going to email in and have a go.
I might not have listened that far.
But he is listening to every episode.
Good,
could be a shit.
Legend. Opportunities on big comms.
So this is the thing, right? I know that a commission-only role is stupid. It's a ridiculous gamble. It's not very sensible. It's not very secure. When I came out here, I lied to pretty much all of my family instead of going into a salaried job. Because I knew if I told them I was going into commission, they would all say, that's the stupidest thing you could ever do.
I said that to my family and they were like, Dan, you're taking on a big risk.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, now that I've survived this long, they're kind of like, well, kudos to you, mate, but...
Yeah, no, everybody's saying kudos to you, but...
At the same time, I'm like, but I can't come home, I'm sorry.
But the thing is, like, it's so... The reason I'm still... Well, I'm not in it so much anymore, but the reason it was so hard to get out of it is because... It is so addicting.
Right.
You don't know how much you're going to earn that next month. And you could earn more than you've ever earned.
And you see the figures of the guys as well.
That's
who are
the thing.
fucking killing it. And you're like...
That's the reason
He just put 1 million dirhams on the board.
Yeah.
That can happen to me.
Yeah, that's the reason I got out of it. Because I went to a slightly smaller company where we didn't have a board. We weren't all boasting about our figures. That killed the motivation for me, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, you want to know it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. So that killed the motivation, and that's why I'm now out of it.
I love the board. I hate it when my name comes up, but I love the board.
Yeah, no, but that board was such a motivating factor. You want to keep on climbing, I don't know if it's the same with you in commercial, but it would be like, I would look at me and like a certain group of people, all in the same area, earning the same with the same amount of experience. It would be a challenge to see who could finish on top. And the leaderboard where we were was like, it was, so number 1 was who's earned the most that year, number 2 was slightly below. So you'd be challenging every month to try and climb a place each month.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's, one more thing. Yeah. Thank you. And it's little incentives like, because the car parking is crap at the company that we're at. So as an incentive, it was the top earner for that month in leasing and the top earner in sales would get a free car parking pass
for the month.
Yeah. Little things like that. That motivation. Talking about it now, I'm getting excited about it again. I still want to come back to it. It's really, really it's mental.
Yeah. I haven't won an award yet. Except...
no, you won the...
At an exterior level, not within the company. But man,
it is so addicting though.
I smashed my target, man. Like that on that October. I was like, fuck yeah.
How's this one going?
Bad. Really, really bad. I've got invoices out and no one's paying me. The people who were, I remember like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I said to you, yeah, I've got like 4 good leads. They're all yeses, and one of them is still there. The rest lost their opportunity. The rest didn't get back to me. The rest did something that I was like, why were you so motivated at the start? Why did everything seem right? Like, don't bullshit me. Like, this is right. It works for you. I know it does. So why does this deal still not happen, or has it? Why did you lose this opportunity?
What do you think the answer is? Did you ask the question flat out?
There's a few answers, right? One of them simply has not got back to me. The only place for him is Dubai Hills, and he needs it, and he's got his fams together. They all live in Dubai Hills. They want something in Dubai Hills. I got Dubai Hills. Why didn't you take it? Where are you? Can you call me? Where are you? Like, all right, I've sent him way too many messages now over the course of 3 weeks, maybe like 6. But when you look at WhatsApp, because he's got a UK number and when I call it doesn't work.
Right, yeah.
I've asked for his UAE number, he hasn't given it to me. So what do?
Yeah.
Research the guy, go on LinkedIn. It looks bad. It looks bad. So
it
now
does look bad.
Now I've got 6 messages that just say yeah, and I'm like, this guy's a wanker, man. I don't want to slag him off, but like, just tell me something, because otherwise I'm just going to keep coming back and asking you. And now I feel like an agent. I don't feel like a consultant.
Yeah. Do you know,
It's degrading.
I can't remember what we were talking about, but following on from
Potential
the last
big comms.
Yeah, okay.
On the board.
But going on to feeling like an agent and do you chase up and everything. I did a viewing, must have been about 6 weeks ago now. Scottish fella, as it happens, moved over from the UK with his wife, was looking for a 3-bedroom villa with a private pool, budget of 300k, couldn't find anything. I viewed 2 properties.
300?
300k, yeah. Residential. It's not a bad budget, but he wanted something modernised, which is quite hard to find at the minute. I viewed a couple of properties with him. He seemed to really like them. But anyway, he then sort of got a bit... just went a bit... He sort of ghosted me. Yeah.
In and out.
So he made an offer on one property. The landlord rejected it. I went back, listen, it's not going to happen on this one. Have you considered blah, blah, blah areas? And he just thumbs up reacted to the message. So I was like, okay, fine. We'll just let him get on with it. And then I left the company. Anyway, yesterday, I saw he posted in Brits in Dubai in Facebook. And he was like, I'm looking for blah, 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 blah. I've reached out to every agent under the sun. There's nothing for me. Can anybody help? Anyway, loads of comments. He posted again this morning. And he was like, in response to everybody that direct messaged me last night, I had 5 agents direct message me with things that didn't match my brief. This is what's giving the UAE real estate market a bad
Raise your budget and get real, man. I think you should have commented,
but
well,
that's... No. I fuck getting involved with that shit. Do you know what I mean? But that's my point, is that some people are so narrow-minded. Like, we have a really tough job in the sense that we know the market. We know what your money will get you. And we have to educate you on that. But there are some people that are so set in their ways that if we even suggest something that doesn't fit the brief perfectly, we get slammed on social media. It's awful. It's really, really awful. And it's so hard because you're paying us... People think we're just door openers, but we're not. And that's really fucking hard. Honestly, I'll show you his post.
Listen, man, like, if you were in their shoes, one thing you will notice when you call every agent under the sun is that there's so much shit out there, man.
Yeah, of course there is.
There's so many agents that are just fucking...
And that does give us a bad name. But if you've got someone that has XXX requirement for X budget, if you know that budget's not going to work, you have to inform them and educate them.
But he's obviously gone around and he's not been listening, so...
That's my point. That's my point.
Problem.
And now he's slagging us all off on Facebook. And it's like, no, you're the reason we're getting a bad reputation. If your brief doesn't match anything that's on the market, what are we supposed to do, right? It's really tricky.
What to do, Yanni? Anyway, big comms.
Yeah, big comms, yeah. The addiction...
Mate, I've said this a
chasing
few
the next big
times, but
commission.
I've come across some magnificent properties and opportunities where it's been like 40 million commercial villas for sale, business for sale that's got like 3 running places, a really good price. You talk to experts in the market. I've got one guy I know who's really connected in the health market, and he was just handing things to me on a plate. He's like, Dan, I wish I was a broker. And he'd be like, there you go, there you go, there you go. And although I was chasing out and reaching out to all these clients, I just couldn't get anything concrete out of the people that I was talking to.
Yeah.
But that opportunity was immense because that guy had my back and he was one of the drivers for the deal, meaning that I had security. Like, no one could fish around the side and cut me out the deal.
Yeah.
I'm getting expert advice. I'm using it. Like, how does this broker and from commercial know so much about the health industry? Well, I'm getting it all from a fucking expert, do you know what I'm saying, who's actually got my back. So finding people who can do that is amazing. And I've heard of like some stories like where people meet just the right landlord, and you know what, they don't want to be part of the mess where they've got 100 agents working on it.
Yeah,
Although there's some landlords who just give it to everyone, all the details, all the copies, just get it online, get at least whatever, I'll talk to blah blah blah, wasting their time. There's some landlords who want shit sold, and they've got 20 apartments, they've got 20 of something,
Yeah.
and they find one agent who's called them up one day, or maybe he's called the company, and they've given a really good impression from the word go, and he's like, there you go.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it just opens up a massive door for some people. And for example, one of the people who referred me the Burj Khalifa office for the full floor, he was approached by this company. So the company called the office, they talked to him, and he made a good impression. He said, just leave it with me, I'll deal with it. He leased 9 apartments in the Burj Khalifa in like 2.5 months. He killed it, man.
Made for life, yeah.
And then he's like, by the way, they've got a commercial property. It's like a month and a half later. Like, you could have told me sooner. But anyway, I'm working on it. I had a few problems. It's back online, ready to go.
The relationship building is the key. I once was doing my cold calling. I spoke to a landlord, and he was the shortest guy I'd ever spoken to. He was like, I get 100 calls like this a day. I'm like, small? I'm really sorry. Just want to know, is your property available? And he goes, no, it's not available. And basically put the phone down. Follow up WhatsApp as soon as he put the phone down. Thank you for your time. I'm very sorry for disturbing you. I've made a note that your property's not available. You didn't get the chance to tell me when it does become available. Please do let me know. Nothing. Followed up a month later. Hi, just on WhatsApp. I didn't call him back. Just a follow-up message from the above. I'd be very interested in knowing when your property becomes available. Nothing back. This will be the 3rd month. Sent another one, nothing back. 4th month, sent a WhatsApp message again. He called me back straight away. And he goes, listen, the reason I'm calling you back is because I can see you're clearly well organised, you're persistent. Your manner on the phone when we were first speaking, you didn't get annoyed, you didn't get scared and not contact me again. The property is actually becoming available in 1 week. I'm giving it to you. I like the way you work, I'm giving it to you exclusive. You've got 2 weeks to get it rented for me. Did it in, I think, 10 days or so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, really, really good landlord. Still in touch with him, and he's still like, let's go out for a beer. I've got another property, I've got a villa going out. This was the same landlord where you put the edit up, he didn't go for that beer. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's that landlord. Yeah, he was really short of it, but it's just that persistence in the way you handle yourself.
Yeah, true.
It makes such a difference. And granted, it was only a 1-bedroom property, it doesn't go anywhere. But then he said, I've got a 3-bedroom villa in Villa Lantana or something like that, which will go for about 300k. And then he was like, I'm so impressed with your work. I'm going to recommend you to anybody I know that's ever leasing or selling a house. What's your Google account? I'm going to give you a Google review, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's just all about that persistence and sticking with it.
Yeah, if you can find these people, and it could be anyone, that the people who just hang up the phone and if you do what you've done, then who knows what you might find at the end of the
This is what we spoke about last week. Opportunity can just strike when you don't expect it.
100%, man.
It's crazy, right?
I've had some good opportunities, and commercial, I don't know what it is, man. It's just been fucking tough. I remember I got these 2 villas in a desirable area, Al Wasl, commercial, not front road facing, but everyone will always talk about having a villa that's commercial in this area.
Okay.
Right now, it was at the side, so I
for
thought,
like a nursery or something.
yeah, like it could be hard getting right. People are always like, "Oh, is it front road facing?" No. And then you'd be like, for like 10 minutes, and then it's like, right, bye. But I got at least 20 viewings out of these villas in the space of like 2 or 3 months, and the landlord kept phoning me up. It's like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, like, I don't want to drop the price anymore. It's been online for some time. I believe the price is right. I think it's taken a lot of time and for people to see the value in this. Because it's down the side, it's got the parking. It might not have the best exposure, but people who go to Business Bay, people who go onto Cheekside Road, they come up the street, so they do see you. Anyway, so I had it exclusive for 3 months. Like, I sold it over the phone, pitched her, said it's going to be easy, and I thought it would be, and then just shit went sideways. Anyway, so it got to the point where I was competing with other agents, and I had a viewing at the same time as this other guy, and my client wasn't there yet, so I just sort of had a look, stood at the side to see what he was up to, right? And this unknown company I've never seen before, and the guy was just like tracky bottoms and a shirt, and I was
I've got to ask the question, what nationality?
I can't remember, mate.
Okay, fair enough.
But he opened up a gym space in a commercial villa. And
wait, the client was in tracksuits.
No, the
agent
other agent's client. Both of them were in like just casual gear, and I was like, right, okay, but why am I wearing a tie in summertime? This sucks. And then I was just like, right, so after all this time of chasing nurseries and other concept cafes, whatever, talking to 100,000 people, this guy signs it for a gym that's unbeknown to anyone, and the landlord's just like, okay.
At the same price?
No, like...
There was a price?
Less, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It was a fucking nightmare, man. Like, I gave it my all for that, and I just didn't get it, and I was like, why? I've got 2 here. And she ended up saying, I think the landlord's just going to move a family member into the other one. I had to be converted, big renovation.
What was the... go on, what was your takeaway from that then? Because I'm being completely honest, I've got 2 properties that I need to rent. They're priced well, they're fucking good units, and I can't shift them.
Right.
What's your advice?
In that case, it's down to marketing. Who would it be perfect for, in your opinion? For example, is it best suited for a family or bachelors or something like that? Put that in your heading when you market it.
Okay.
I think the marketing it comes to the heading. That's what you need.
That's what grabs people.
Yeah, like my impressions of say Horizon Tower when I first saw it were that actually it's pretty good for families living in Marina, despite it being a tall tower building, and in a busy part of the Dubai. It had good features outdoors in the pool area.
Yeah, biggest pool in Marina.
Area.
It's got the metro right outside.
Yeah, like there's a
beach.
few things about it that were very convenient to families, and I thought, you know what, I would market that as families.
Yeah, all right.
So I think picking up what's best or most targeted to the units and stuff. But my mistake was I didn't price it right the first time, and then it was coming down and down and down online.
And you lose credibility every time you ask for a price
and then
increase,
like I had to entertain everyone because I'd made promises. So
you're spending your time on people that you know aren't going to commit to it.
I spent a lot of time.
No, I get that.
But at the end of the day, the people who I was avoiding as well, the people who I was avoiding is like, have you got a business set up? No. Right. Right. He sounds like he's got the money, but he doesn't sound too motivated and that he's looking everywhere. I wouldn't spend too much time in these guys.
And that was one of the people that ended up closing.
It was one of these people that, like, they speak Arabic and you can relate like that or whatever. I couldn't. But when someone sounds very unprofessional on the phone and all this, then I'm like...
Yeah, it leaves a bad taste immediately.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't really work.
I'm
I just don't know with you, man. Like, I can't have a joke. At the same time, it's very informal. And that's what happened. One of these informal guys just closed the deal. And I was like, he just started up a gym. I was like, but why here? Anyway, he spent the money on it. I don't know if it's stupidity or something else.
How long ago was this?
This was last summer.
Have you followed up to see what's happening in that unit?
No.
Why not?
Maybe I should.
That'd be quite interesting. Yeah, did this guy follow through, or was he a total flake?
The thing is, like, imagine a gym space in a villa.
That is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, the ceilings are small.
Yeah. Rooms are quite small in villas as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
Follow up on that, that'd be
really
interesting.
All these old tiles that you used to have inside, because villas it's tiles, right? You'd take them all up and you put pads that I don't even know if he might have just put down these shock pads all over the floor. I haven't seen it.
Mate, you should fully, before you leave tonight, Google that. I'd be well interested to see.
Okay.
I think that's all the talking points we've got for tonight.
Yeah, those were the opportunities that why I'm a broke broker, I guess. I would say it's just unlucky. Honestly speaking.
I had so the other week, I can't remember what it was, I was saying when Lorenzo was on, is that I'm out here for life experiences, and I wrongly compared it to my friends, and I said, I've got more life experiences.
Yeah, when you go back home and tell your grandkids and all this bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not what I meant. I just meant that it's a very different experience to them having moved abroad in your 20s, right? That's all I meant by that.
Oh, you
But
see,
anyway,
is that you might have a few different stories to tell.
exactly, yeah, different stories to tell. Not better stories by any means necessary. Most of my stories out here are total dog shit about how skint I am, how I can barely afford the rent, all that
Remember
sort
that
of
whole
thing.
vinegar thing?
Yeah, that's still a thing. Ask for malt vinegar, and they won't know what you're asking.
I did it last time.
That doesn't count.
Went
You're
to
in a
pub
good
with you and
place.
you said try it.
That doesn't count. No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Anyway, it sparked a debate about how real estate is just luck, and I was defending it in the sense that
It's
you
not.
make your own luck.
Yeah.
But it is, right, don't get me wrong, getting the perfect listing, getting the perfect viewing, and getting the perfect rental or sale is lucky. But that is amplified by the amount of cold calls you put in, by the amount of viewings that you put in, by the amount of offers that you put in.
Yeah, like if you
It's
want
not
to win the
just luck.
lottery, you buy one ticket or you can buy 20 tickets.
So, the guy that obviously I quite clearly offended by mistake, but I totally accept it. He was like, no, real estate, he basically said our career is just gambling. And my point was, it's not, it is a gamble, but it's not gambling.
It's not. It's a career. When you see it over the long term, you start establishing yourself, you get a name for yourself, you build a reputation, you are in contact with more people who can refer you things, it gets easier and easier and easier and
Yeah,
easier.
exactly.
You are a consultant, you're updated with the market, better than you were at the start. Like it is pure development. The only way you can succeed in real estate is if, on commission only, if you just develop yourself to the point where you are well connected, you are determined, you are good at consulting people, advising, you've got, you know, the qualities of someone that people trust.
Exactly, yeah.
And
The
not
best example
just a
is...
classic salesman that people are like a bit
Exactly.
turned off by it. Like, you can sell people at the same time as doing things, like you make points.
Yeah. It's the running theme is that you become a consultant rather than an agent.
That's what I think, yeah.
No, I agree with you completely. For example, in residential
You're just
real
someone who
estate-
knows shit. Someone who knows shit, who can tell you about that shit, and turn that shit
who can
into
educate.
gold.
You're offering not just the renting or the selling of the unit. You're offering education. You're offering information.
And that's the thing, when people call me up, everything is fucking free, yeah? And all the information that comes out of my mouth, I believe 80% of it is valuable. The other 20% is just small talk and all that other stuff.
So anyway, that was my only thing that I just wanted to mention.
I had a viewing today at 12 o'clock. I met two guys with a big yacht company. They trade yachts, they sell them, they sell parts, they buy them, whatever. And they sell yachts and trade everything, right? And big company, I won't name them. But I had a viewing with them today, and the one part of the viewing that was wrong was that you cannot set up a Dubai mainland license in a free zone area. Very obvious when you're in the commercial game, which I knew, but there are ways and means of he could just get a free zone license. So I thought, right, if that's not a problem for them, then it's not a problem for the deal.
Okay.
So we went and saw the place. Apparently, trading in this particular free zone, trading as in selling and all this, they don't have any activities that can be accepted. I should have checked that first, but I didn't really know. So I learned something today. Anyway, I met these guys. I had a good laugh with them. I was very professional, showed them a few units. They asked me questions, I had the answers, and I made them laugh like several times in a professional.
That's how you build a relationship,
professional way. But I realised that actually I came across a guy as someone who was like, every time they asked me a question, shook their hand, right, whatever, like it all looked like I was the guy who knew what I was doing. I'm trustworthy. I'm this, I'm that. It's all good. But when I tell them I'm gonna find out all about this, and then I go and find out, like I found out for them, like avoid those areas.
And do you think they'll stick with you?
I just need to find them a unit now, and to be honest,
How many other agents do you think they're talking to?
that's a few, but he's doing a lot of searching, and the thing is, right, finding 1,500 square feet, 1,000 square feet in Dubai with a high quality premium office that's not part of a business centre or anything is very, very hard to do.
Okay. So that should be a good lead for you.
Well, I can't find shit. I've given them a few options, and they're just like, it's either too big or it's too expensive, and that's where I'm at. So I'm that was today's lead. So I've got a bit of searching to do tomorrow.
Okay, nice.
What was my point?
Not sure. I've lost my train of thought.
My point was just simply that being that consultant, being that trustworthy guy. Although I didn't close the deal, however, they would listen to me, or they would pick up my phone. Like if I phoned them, they would pick up. They're like, I trust this guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I've got good cred with these guys, despite not having succeeded.
Yeah, you can still leave an impression in other ways.
And the thing is like with commercial, as soon as you do succeed with guys and girls, with a client that you have, you've been with them for a bit of time, you've spoken to them, and you've got them to actually like you, and you can have a laugh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Once you've established some certain form of relationship, and then you close the deal, that is the best feeling, man. Like when they can say,
because it's rewarding on both parts.
Literally, like you've got a weight off our shoulders now. Like we can relax. We've got an office sorted. Blah blah blah. And then you can get benefits from that. Not only just like from like a good review, but he might one day say to me, "Listen, man, we just bought a fucking new yacht, and it's crazy nice. You got to come see it."
Yeah, exactly,
Do you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Exactly.
Like just weird things like
You're
that.
Absolutely
like,
right. You're
I'm like,
absolutely
all
right.
right. So Saturday, I've got plans with it, but I can't break it out. Yeah, I'll be there. I don't even ask twice. I'll be there.
No, you're absolutely right. It is.
That's happened to me a few times, man. Like the at least a warehouse to a car garage guy, great guy from the UK. Had one landlord was fucking him over with trying to kick him out because they wanted to renovate or something, and he was in dire straits. He was looking for so long, and when I started, I said, "Bro, I can't find anything. I swear to God, I've tried." We went and saw something, and the next day or next week it was gone. I'm like, shit. In this area, Alcouz, the market is fast.
Yeah.
For warehouses,
yeah.
It's really really fast. Anyway, so I know a guy and a developer who I'm quite good friends with. Well, I'm pally professionally, and one day he just said, "Dan, it's not in the market yet. There's a warehouse coming available this time. Get your client there." Phoned him up right away. I said, "Come to the warehouse and bring your checkbook." And we went there. He saw it. He said, "It's perfect. Although it's out with my budget, understand there's nothing around here. So I'll take it." And we just filled in the booking form there, gave him the check, done.
Nice.
And I said, "Dan, thank you." But if I've got a bump in my car, and I know when the rental company calls me and they say, "I need to service your car," before they go and rip me off, I'm going to take it to his garage. And he's going to be like, "Dan, I'm glad you came, right? Okay, let's do this." And he'll educate me.
Like the entire front of your bumper that's
He's my car. He is my car guy.
You've got a car guy?
I've got a car guy. He's the best car guy. I know it for a fact. I know how he works. He's taught me a lot, to be honest.
Nice.
See, the first time I heard you take a penny out of someone's pocket today, you have two out your stomach.
Oh, you mentioned that the other week. Yeah,
that was something. He said that first. He said
nice.
that first. He's got really good values. He
Okay.
doesn't screw anyone over.
Nice.
He's very honest. He's got a straightforward sense of humour. And if you're easily insulted, then you might find him a bit offensive. But he doesn't mean it in an offensive way. Good heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Quality guy.
Nice. Yeah, so good way to wrap things up.
Yeah. So potential is out there all the time. There's always benefits closing clients. Always build your relationships because it lasts for the future. Not only with the small things, but referrals, like you said. Excellent. And I believe that your friends are a little bit wrong saying it's a gamble. It is a career. If you can maintain this momentum of it's investment in time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You've got to invest so much time, but you need to realise where your value is going, and you need to realise what's wasting your time as well. Spend little on the people that are fucking you around, spend more on the people that have the potential for more, like where you can get something out of someone. You don't need to be a fucking wee rat that's trying to squeeze everything, but you need to recognise where people have things that can benefit you and your career.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with just pure networking and relationship
Yeah,
building.
exactly. That's all it is. It's just doing the cycle. Do a good job, and it will all fall in place, basically.
Perfect,
Yeah. Nice. So that pretty much wraps us up for the week, I think.
Fantastic. What are we going to talk about next week?
Let's not commit to anything on camera.
Yeah, because I won't remember anyway.
Exactly. Let's drop in the standard like, comment, subscribe. Drop us an email. We want to get out there a little bit.
Oh, and what we could do actually is if everyone or anyone who's listened this far knows how to make a wee theme tune or something, because we're lacking that in our videos. If you've got talent for like making something funky or whatever, music wise, you want I think we should make a reward for this. We'll send you a goodie box. We'll buy you something.
An M&S hamper.
We'll buy you something.
Alright, yeah, we will.
It'll be mysterious. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's not going to be alcohol. It's not going to be, well, it could be. But it could be anything.
It'll be a mystery box.
It's a mystery box. We'll send you a mystery box.
We'll send you a mystery box.
I know we say we're broke, but we will chip in for this.
Yeah,
Definitely, right? Make us a song, theme tune.
Something related to Two Broke Brokers, Dubai, travelling.
Yeah.
You've
Something
got free
like
will. Yeah, exactly.
If you do that, we will literally buy you something. Mystery box. Boom.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, and
like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.